They did it, y'all. Sony did it again with the new WH-1000XM6 noise canceling headphones, their signature headphones. And this, look, there's a whole lot of reasons why this is the best new headphone of 2025. What's up everybody, Brian Tong here, and this is my review for Sony's all-new XM6 noise-canceling headphones. And yeah, we're just gonna call them the XM6s here for short. This is really always one of the most anticipated headphones every time Sony drops a new model, and to me, you know, the XM5s were that flagship headphone to beat with incredible sound and active noise canceling that rivals just couldn't match that combination and the comfort. Well, the XM6s have legitimately taken things up another level, but I don't even need to hype this because I'm gonna give you every nugget of info that you need to make this decision for yourself. And full disclosure, big thanks to Sony for providing the XM6s for the purpose of this review in their all new midnight blue color. You see that? That's how you know it's the new. They look a whole lot like the XM5s, you know, at first glance. I love this modern, future, minimalist design that is truly unique. It still looks great, but there's a whole lot more going on in here this time, like this. Like, see this part here? Look. The freaking XM6s have a new folding design. Sony, they listened to us because, come on now, they never got this small. If you went from the XM4s to the XM5s, it's the number one thing that you missed. It's the number one thing that you wanted. And I know the XM5s look great, they sound great, but they took up a whole lot more space in my travel bag. In fact, I stuck with my XM4s on the go all this time, and it's really more of a testament to just how good they still are since they came out in 2020. And I knew that the XM5s had better tech. They had better sound, but the portability, when I travel, I need that. It's practical, and that's what the new XM6s now have because, ladies and gentlemen, yeah, both sides, one or the other, they fold. And we're just getting started here, so let's first unbox this and show you what's inside. We have here the WH-1000XM6, call it the XM6. This is gonna be their new color, which is blue. We have silver, we have black, but this is the new color for 2025, the blue ones. And so you can see a semi-familiar design, but let's try and open this up elegantly. And I'm just going to reveal it now. Ooh! So here we go. We obviously have attached here, this looks like the manuals that come with it, but check this out, right? This is the new case, this is the blue case. The material is gonna be, feels very similar, same woven material as the XM5s, but I'm gonna take this bottom tray, put it aside, and let's take a look at this. To me, this already looks smaller, so I'm going to, looks like it has like a little bit of a magnetic clasp here, right? I'm gonna open it up, and woo! There you go, a look at the new XM6s, all right? If you even look at something like the headband here, it's asymmetrical, so almost instantly tells you, hey, what direction to put the headphones on. If you look in this little pouch here, you're gonna get two cables. One is going to be a USB-A to USB-C cable, all right? That's for charging or connecting. And then here, you'll have your mini jack headphone cable connection. So you can do a hardwired connection into your PC or your device with these headphones, or you can use them wirelessly, obviously. All right, now that we've unboxed these, let's check out all the new tech inside. And look, I've owned every single model of these since the XM2s back in 2017. So I feel like I know these headphones pretty intimately, and the WH-1000 series has constantly evolved and really leveled up with each release. So what's the new tech inside here that drives this thing? Well, it's gonna start with the new QN3 processor, okay? This is the brains of the XM6s, and according to Sony, it performs 7 times faster than the previous QN1 chip that's found in the XM5. Now, the QN3 allows for improved sound processing, faster, more precise noise cancellation, reduction of power consumption, and more. And these new XM6s come with an improved adaptive noise canceling optimizer, which means it is constantly processing the sound that's happening around you and making you hear an experience here that just, like, again, isolates you from the world. Now, hardware is also gonna be a big thing that helps here too, with a total of 12 mics, and you can see some of their placement around the ear cups versus there were 8 mics that are in the XM5, so you get an improvement there. Now, the noise cancellation button is still this pill-shaped button here on the left ear cup, and I showed you earlier how they made the power button a circular shape button. I love that. So there's no more guesswork of, you know, when you have these on, which one you're gonna hit, you feel it when you hit it. In fact, this is the best noise canceling that is legally possible on any headphone on the market, hitting all the benchmarks that qualify that. So you literally cannot get any better than the XM6s. Now, I also forgot some of the basic stuff because there's a whole lot of new stuff to talk about. These do still have the touch controls on this right ear cup here, so that is things like tapping a pause, to play the music, swiping up to change the volume level, or swiping forward or swiping back for tracks. You can also still put your hand and cover the right ear cup to hear what's going on around you. Maybe there's an announcement and you just put it here, you can then hear the environment instantly. You also still have the speak to chat option where the mics here, they hear when you're talking and then it lowers the sound playing in your headphones. Why is that useful? Let's say you're at a cafe, you still want to listen to music, you walk up to register, once you start talking, it turns off the music inside so you can hear the outside world. Now this is a super cool feature, but if you like singing along to your favorite songs, then you might want to turn it off in the app because it will stop when you sing. Now also, when I talk about mics, I always get asked about what is the voice quality like if I'm using these for a call. So I took these outside to just give you a sound sample to compare what the new XM6s sound like versus the XM4s and the XM5s. The quick brown fox jumped over the lazy dog. The quick brown fox jumped over the lazy dog. The quick brown fox jumped over the lazy dog. The quick brown fox jumped over the lazy dog. And you can really hear the difference and improvement compared to the previous models, with the XM6s bringing better mids and a better overall sound with depth. Now also, Sony's AI noise reduction, this uses over 500 million voice samples to learn how to extract human voices from environmental sound. There's also a total of 6 beamforming mics specifically for call quality. There's actually 2 more than the XM5s included in here along with that new AI tech, and it all makes a difference. So the XM6's call quality has also improved. And of course, what's also really important, let's see, these are headphones. Yes, the sound, all right? Listen to music and podcasts or watching different types of content. That is what matters, right? There are new drivers inside the XM6s that bring even richer details. You've got clearer vocals. And I will say this, it's actually very hard to pull out, let's say, a clear, definitive difference in sound. I mean, what I mean is that the XM5s were just already so damn good, but where I did hear some improvement in sound was the area of the mids feeling a little fuller while also still being very detailed. I mean, these are some of the best headphones you can get. And also, you want to play around with the equalizer settings to find that sound signature that you like the most, which can also be dictated by your music preferences. Now, personally, I like the clear equalizer setting for these XM6s. It pops. It's also still very detailed. You still get those lows. So yeah, that's my personal choice. But sound just gets significantly leveled up in a whole nother way. And I gotta talk about this because the XM6s have an ability to take 2 channels of audio. It then passes them through a virtualizer that they use for Sony's 360 spatial sound technology. Then it upmixes them to multi-channels. And what does that all mean? For those of you who are like, what just happened, Brian? Well, this is bringing a cinematic quality experience in your headphones, and it is pretty amazing. Now, it's a setting that you need to turn on through the Sony Connect app, and you can find that here. But this is an absolute game changer for me and watching movies on the go. I think the best way to describe it is that normally you'll watch a movie and it is in surround sound, but you'll feel like it's confined into this space in front of you between the headphones. And it still sounds great, but it's right here, if that makes sense. But turn on the cinema mode and it completely opens up the sound. It presents the sound in a bigger sound stage that feels like you're hearing this in a movie theater. And look, you don't want to do this with music because it doesn't work the same way, but for watching TV shows and movies, it is a feature that instantly, it just hit me and I was like, damn, and I'm always going to use it. So it is one of the key features that makes the XM6s so good for me. There's also another setting here for background music, and I also thought this was like really clever because again, it changes the sound to feel like the song is playing, the music you're listening to is playing in a room, kind of laying in the background or in a cafe and not right here in front of you with the headphones on that you're normally used to. The XM6s also have been tuned with master engineers, and I believe it with the depth and detail. I think that's what really stands out. Highs, mids, and lows, and there's a warmth to it that it sounds silly to say organic, but I just can't say it enough. They sound amazing. They've just done a really incredible job with the sound quality and audio features that, it sounds silly to say, but you only find that here on the XM6s. Now let's get to some factoids and really some nitty-gritty details that you'll want to know about the XM6s that maybe might clear some things up for you as well. We've showcased the new design, and if we're talking about weight, These XM6s come in at 254 grams. Now the XM5s, those were 250 grams. If you look at the XM4s, those were 254 grams. So no drastic changes in weight, but the XM6s, they're just a smidge heavier. You're not gonna notice. Now these are Bluetooth 5.3 headphones, and if you're wondering about low latency audio, these do support Bluetooth LE audio, but for certain devices, since Apple devices do not support Bluetooth LE audio, low latency will not be available on something like, let's say, your iPhone or your iPad wirelessly, all right? Now that's not an issue for me, but something worth bringing up. Now the XM6s support LDAC, AAC, SBC, and LC3 audio codecs, but no surprise here again, it does not support Apple's ALAC, or it stands for Apple Lossless Audio Codec, because yeah, Apple. So these obviously, they still play nice with both Android and Apple devices, but Apple's walled garden, you know, they don't like to share everything. It doesn't hurt the XM6s, but I just think it's worth mentioning for those of you who want to know that stuff. Now the XM6s support multi-point connections, so that means it can connect to and switch between two devices at the same time. It could be an iPad or a laptop and an iPhone, but you can bounce between two devices that whenever you put these on, it automatically sees that connection. I also showed you that 1.2 meter auxiliary audio cable when we did the unboxing earlier. That's gonna fit into a standard headphone jack, and you can obviously play audio through that, like no latency, but you cannot play audio through a USB-C cable connection through an audio source. Some people were hoping that you could. That doesn't happen here. Another thing, folding them up does not turn them off or power down the headphones, but the XM6s do auto power off when they haven't been used for a while. We talk about power, hey, battery life, right? You're gonna get about 30 hours with noise cancellation turned on and 40 hours with noise cancellation turned off. That is more than enough. And then you can also get 3 hours of juice when you charge it for 3 minutes. So like a little quick fire charging. All right, let's talk pricing, and the new WH-1000XM6s retail for $449 in the US. So that is gonna be $50 more than the XM5's launch price back in 2022. So it has gone up a little bit. Now you will be able to order them today on May the 15th, and they will ship out to you shortly after that. But Sony has really done everything they could to make this a significant upgrade. I just like how there are practical changes, like the folding design. You got the different shaped buttons here. I mean, that really, I can reach and feel which one's which. That makes a difference. You got the asymmetrical headband, so I can see it, I pop it on. But also technology advancements with the new QN3 processor. You've got the best noise canceling on planet Earth here. When it's the best, I like the best, right? Improved speaker drivers, improved mics, just everything. And Sony, I legitimately have no notes. I mean, if I had to be like really picky, right? Really picky, I'd say, hey, with time, maybe we could get the ear cups to be a little slimmer and lower profile without affecting the sound quality as much, if that is physically possible. I mean, that's just me being picky, but I love how Sony gives it a few years between models to bring meaningful advancements. So the questions that I have is like, will I be upgrading? Absolutely. Will these be my new travel headphones? 100%. You know, I love everything about them, and there's a reason why I told you in the beginning, the Sony WH-1000XM6s are the best headphones for 2025.